Hi everybody, I have my coffee. Let me put you onto something. Trader Joe's has this like instant coffee and it's so good. Put a little honey and maple syrup in there with some milk. Oh my gosh, it's to die for. I bet it would be so good with like oat milk or something. So last week's video actually got lost. So for some reason it never uploaded to YouTube and I don't know what happened to it, but I came back after vacation and it was just gone. Like it's not in my photos, it's not on my computer, it's not on YouTube. I'm like, what the heck? And the video talked a lot about activism, and then this week's video was going to be about pro-life apparel and things like that. But since last week's video was deleted and lost, I'm just going to do a 2-in-1 sort of thing. So let's get into it. So I guess it was like, what, 2 weeks ago now? I spoke at Speak Out Illinois, and it was so fun. Like, it was the best. I loved it. I was so glad I got the opportunity to do that, and I hope to be able to do something like that again. This weekend is March 19th, and I'll be speaking at the March in the Arch in St. Louis, and then I'll be speaking at the Midwest March for Life in April. It's in Jefferson City, Missouri, and it'll be April 20th. It is a Wednesday, but Abby Johnson's going to be speaking too, so come see the both of us. It'll be great. Anyways, I'm really excited for those two things, but speaking at a banquet is such a different atmosphere because number one, you're indoors so everyone can hear you. Number two, people are sitting and concentrating on you, whereas at marches, I feel like you can kind of get distracted or you're walking around, etc. So this was just a really unique experience, and I was really happy to have the opportunity to do so. I had a lot of fun, and the speech was like my first time I ever didn't write a speech. I knew what I wanted to say a couple weeks prior, and I kind of practiced it out loud to myself. And then I went up and gave a speech, and it honestly went so well. You can find that video on my YouTube, the one I guess right before this. Also, stay to the end if you would like to get some really great discounts on some awesome places. Anyways, moving on from there, the opportunity was so encouraging, and in that speech I talked about the importance of activism, and I talked about how Roe v. Wade is overturning, but our job is not even close to done, especially here in Illinois, because it's about to get a lot worse. Now, I apologize. I apparently had some statistics wrong. I said that we were going to go from like 100,000 people out of state coming into Illinois to 8.9 million. Apparently, that number was wrong. The person who did the math on that must have mixed up a number, and it's not actually even close to that. But even so, the numbers are extremely high for Illinois, and that's saying something. I'm waiting on those actual numbers, but we're not yet there. So bear with me until I get you those right numbers. But in the meantime, I apologize for that. But we're seeing the overturning of Roe versus Wade either way. Hopefully, cross your fingers or pray. Sorry. And it'll be great, and I'm so excited for it. But that means that we in Illinois are going to become America's abortion capital, which means the work that we have to do is going to be insane, right? But that doesn't excuse the rest of the nation, especially the more conservative states. The more conservative states, I hope that, or not my hope, sorry, yeah, well, I guess I do hope, but to have an understanding, like, just because abortion is gone does not mean there aren't women in unexpected pregnancies anymore. There are still going to be women in unexpected pregnancies who desperately need help. And the reality of abortion is still going to be shown, and it needs to be shown. And all the pro-life work we're doing right now pretty much has to continue completely until abortion is completely eradicated. Then from there, we're going to need to move on and still help these women in these unexpected pregnancies. I don't think that will ever go away, and that's okay. Being able to help other people is so important. But right now, we need to take it where we're at right now and figure out what we need to do right now to help better the nation. And as time goes on, we'll continue improving and figuring out step by step what we need to do in order to end abortion and continue helping these mothers in unexpected pregnancies while also still showing the reality of abortion, so our country does not ever stoop to this level again. So the activism that needs to, be taken, first of all, like we need I keep doing this. We need women's centers on like every single corner. We need to be showing the reality of abortion on every single street. We need to be teaching young kids, like middle school, high school, the reality of abortion, chaste sex, like talking about theology of the body. Like I'm reading that book right now, and it's so good, and we need to be talking about it. You can literally look up theology of the body on Dynamic Catholic, and you can get 6 books for $18. And I'm not sponsored or anything. I just think that everyone should read this book. I'm like 3 chapters in. I think it's like an 8-chapter book or something like that. But it is so good. It is so fruitful. And it explains everything so well. And that's what we need to be doing to the betterment of our country. Because when we take away family, family is the foundation of a society. And when we take away family, when we take away the value of sex, by birth control and abortion and all that fun stuff, when you take away the importance of marriage, and you take away that key aspect of marriage, which is that life-giving love, and you take that away and it becomes selfish, you start to see a crumble in society because the family is now broken. And that's how our society has come to such a breaking point. So while yes, I want to end abortion more than anything, we also have to understand that if we had a better understanding of what sex was, what marriage was, and God's plan for marriage, sex, and children, our society would be in a much, much better place. So taking that activism to share the word and get those important messages out there is so vitally important. So while ending abortion is like a very high must on my list, and that's what I primarily focus on, I will not say that we don't need to be talking about the other things too, because we talk about, oh, we need sex ed in schools and things like that. We don't need sex ed in schools. We need an education on chaste marital sex. So moving on from there, the activism that has to be taken is that everyone has to put their best foot forward in helping these women and children. And you can help in many, many, many different ways. God gives us each a gift and talent, and he calls each and every one of us to bring him glory in some way, shape, or form. So use whatever talent you have to bring him glory. For example, if you like to crochet, take time and make things for the homeless, make things for women in crisis pregnancies, like, I don't know, fun sweaters and scarves and diaper bags maybe, or even like little booties for their babies. If you like photography, we absolutely need photos that capture the gruesomeness of abortion, but also people to take pictures at marches. And you know, if you're into, I don't know, there's a ton of different things. Like if you give me suggestions, like what your talent is, I can show you how it can relate back to giving glory to God, but possibly so giving glory to God by helping end abortion. Every single person has it in them. It's just a matter of what you personally choose to do with that. For example, I have 0 talents, 0, but I love public speaking, and so I use that. And I like planning, so I use that. And I like fundraising and things like that. Like I kind of, because I'm good at public speaking, I'm good at like kind of advertising and marketing, while also like being persuasive. And so fundraising kind of comes easy to me, and it's really fun for me. And so I'm able to use those 3 things and give it back to the pro-life movement. So it just depends how each and every one of you would like to glorify God in that way, or how each and every one of you would like to give back to the pro-life movement. It all very much depends on you as an individual, but I think every single person can do it. It's just a matter of how and when. But it is so vitally important that we are all doing it, because every single day, 2,363 babies are aborted in America alone, and that's not including the abortion pill. So these numbers are skyrocketing, and it is so dangerous for society, for these children, and for these women, because 62% of women who receive an abortion were coerced into it, meaning that they were basically threatened by a man to get an abortion, and that just doesn't sit well with me. And I will never support abortion for the fact that it's killing an innocent human being. But more importantly, this whole my body, my choice, or it's a pro-woman movement, it is not, and women are being lied to, and I just can't do it. So moving on from there, take activism. Pray, work, give it to God, whatever you have to do, some way, take action, because actions speak louder than words. So moving on from there, let's go into apparel, clothing. Pro-life apparel is actually incredibly important. It's a conversation starter, which is so good. Now, in wearing the pro-life attire that I have, I've never really ran into a pro-choicer, but I have connected with other pro-lifers, and it is so awesome. Like, I was at the Apple store getting my computer fixed, and the Apple employee saw my pro-life stickers, and I had like this cord for my computer, and he asked like, oh, I love your stickers, and like, what are you getting the cord from? I'm like, oh, I have a podcast. And he was like, what's your podcast? And I told him my podcast, and he's like, no way, like, it's so cool. It's so encouraging to see young women involved in this stuff. is it's so inspiring. Like, good for you. And so like that little moment, like being at a coffee shop and having my laptop open or wearing the t-shirt is so good. It is so good to connect and unite with other pro-lifers, because I feel as though sometimes we feel totally lost. Like, there are no other pro-lifers in the world, especially here in Illinois or maybe states like New York or California. And so wearing that attire can really unify, but it can also be a conversation starter. Actually, I did have one case where I had a pin on my backpack that said, "I'm pro-life, ask me why." And somebody at Six Flags literally did ask me why, and we had a conversation about abortion at Six Flags. It was awesome. And I was not prepared, but it was still really awesome. So I'm going to give you guys a couple places to go to. So number one, D&A Customs. It is so cute. They have like really like poppy, like it very much pops at you. So it's like, it's a particular style that you have to like, but I like some of their stuff. I think all their stuff is super cute. I have a few items of my own from them, and their stickers are adorable, and they have like bumper stickers and everything. So you can use, I think it's code HOPE15 or HOPE10. I think it's code HOPE10. I think it's 10. Yeah, HOPE10 for 10% off at D&A Customs on Etsy. They're amazing. They're also in my Instagram at _Hope Miller. You can find them in my codes highlight. And then also, so they're adorable, love them, they're super cute, and totally love supporting her because she's a Jesus loving pro-lifer, and I am so for that. She's using her gifts and talents to give back to the pro-life movement, and I love that. And then For Life Apparel, so stinking cute. You can also find them on my ambassadorship highlight or in my codes highlight. And basically what it is that they make this I'm obsessed, adorable pro-life attire, and it comes from men's, crew necks, sweatshirts, women, so like it fits you better, and I'm so for that. And you can get, their prices are super good, but you can also use code HOPE15 for 15% off. And then 25% of their profits go to paying for ultrasounds for abortion-minded women. So they have paid for 19 ultrasounds so far, and I think that is so cool. Because 97% of the time, women will end up choosing life when they see an ultrasound. And so funding places like this to help them find that, like in them, to be like, you know what, this is a baby. Because Planned Parenthood will hide that ultrasound for you. And having these people being like, hey, I'm just gonna help you in any way I can. Here's the ultrasound of your little baby. And then a woman can see the reality of her baby, and like, you know, you have that connection when you have that ultrasound. It is so stinking cool. So that's For Life Apparel. You can find it on my Instagram. They do have a website. It's literally forlifeapparel.com. Or maybe it's .org. I don't know. You can check it out though. Super cute. Love supporting them. And then lastly, we have Catholic Coffee Time, and they make like these adorable Catholic stickers. But anyone and everyone can get them. They're super good, inspiring quotes. There's a Bible one that I'm obsessed with. You can also find these on my Instagram as well. And it says, this is how I fight my battles. And I love that. I love the Bible, so I love that sticker. It's so good. And anyone can get that. Christians, Protestants, whatever. You guys can get that because it's about the Bible. We all have a Bible. And you can use Hope Code 20 for 20% off, and that's Catholic Coffee Time. She does have an Etsy, but you can also just find her on my Instagram. And then I will link all of these below because that's important. So anyways, I hope you guys had a great time today, and then I hope you also got your own coffee. Just so you know, I do sip on mine during it, like when the audio cuts or something. I just feel like rude. I don't know. Oh, I love this coffee. I'm so here for it. Anyways, thank you guys. I added too much syrup. That's what it was. Thank you guys so much, and again, I'm sorry for the last video getting all ruined and everything. Hopefully we can get that fixed from now on. We don't have that problem anymore. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much. And oh, also check out my new podcast, Classy Chicks Pod. It's with Savannah Dudzik, and it's so fun. I think I'm taking a pause on my Hope Miller Show podcast because I kind of just need a break. And if I'll go back to it, we'll see. But I do kind of just want to focus on this Classy Chicks because it talks about classy femininity, and I love that so much. And while yes, I'm a pro-life advocate to the day I die, I also really love inspiring young women to tap into that femininity. So check out that Classy Chicks Pod. I'll link it below. I'll also link the Instagram below. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.